Motorhome insurance can be a minefield, with many providers offering subtle differences in their cover. In this video, we'll guide you through the life cycle of a specialist motorhome insurance policy and share some of our top tips when insuring your pride and joy. Hi, I'm Liz from Caravan Guard Insurance. Like for any other motor vehicle, it's a legal requirement to have insurance to drive your motorhome on the road, and it's vital to protect you and others against accidents, theft, damage and fire. And a specialist motorhome insurance policy has extra features to cover all aspects of your leisure vehicle, such as the equipment and the living areas. In this video, we'll help you understand some of the jargon, guide you through insuring your motorhome, making changes and what to do if you need to make a claim. So let's go and chat to Steph and start by asking her what you need to know when insuring your motorhome.
When taking out a motorhome policy, it's important to look at specialist motorhome providers, not to look at car and van insurance that might not be suitable for your needs. So when you're getting a quote for your motorhome insurance, they're going to ask for the make and model of your motorhome, so it's important that you know that, including the manufacturer or the converter, because that can be different to the base vehicle. You should also know the body type of the vehicle, so whether it's a coach built, a campervan, pop top. It's important to know the value of your motorhome to make sure that you've got the correct sum insured, but most importantly to make sure you're not under-insuring your vehicle. You'll also be asked how many miles you intend to do in your motorhome, so your annual mileage restriction. So it's important to get that correct so you're paying the right premium. If you're new to motorhoming, you might not know how many miles you're doing a year, so in the first couple of years you could keep a log of the mileage and review it. You should also consider any trips to Europe because they might add up on your mileage as well. When it comes to security, know the detail of what's fitted to your motorhome, so it can be fitted devices like tracking devices, alarms. You can also have physical devices like steering wheel locks. These can have an effect on your insurance premium. They may attract a discount or there may be a condition of the insurance. Even if insurers don't insist on security, you can still have it for peace of mind. So while we're talking about security, you'll also be asked about the storage location for your motorhome. So you'll need to know things like the postcode, what security the site's got. So for example, has it got locked gates, a perimeter fence, has it got any CCTV? Now, if you're storing your motorhome at home, you can keep your motorhome on your driveway, and does that have any security, like any security posts, CCTV, or is your motorhome behind any locked gates? You'll be asked about your driving history, so it's important that you know about your any previous claims that you've had, any driving convictions that you've got, including the dates and also the conviction codes. If someone else is going to be driving your motorhome, they'll need adding on as a driver, so you'll need their driving history too. No claims discount can be quite confusing. You can only use your no claims discount on one policy at any one time, so often you'll have it on your car insurance. We can give you an introductory discount on your motorhome insurance if you've not had motorhome insurance before. If you're selling your car and you're only having a motorhome or campervan insurance, you will be able to transfer your no claims discount over when your policy is cancelled, or you might have a previous motorhome insurance that you can transfer your bonus from. To make sure you get the right cover for your needs, look for policies that include things like windscreen cover, breakdown, equipment cover and awnings. As standard on our policies, we cover storm damage for awnings and windscreen covers also included. And while we're talking about cover that you might not need, that can be one way to reduce your premium. Other things to consider are things like increasing your excess, double checking your sum insured, making sure you've got the correct annual mileage and checking for discounts on things like security devices that you've got fitted to your motorhome. Answering questions dishonestly, particularly to get a lower premium, could mean in the event that you have to make a claim that your policy is invalid or your claim could be rejected. So it's really important to make sure you answer all those questions honestly and truthfully.
Add as many security and safety devices as possible. Not only will this make your motorhome more difficult to steal and easier to protect from damage, but you could also benefit from insurance discounts. Just make sure you always use those devices you've listed when leaving your motorhome unattended. Sometimes insurance terminology can be tricky to understand. Let's help you understand some of those policy wordings and conditions of cover.
So when we're talking about motorhome insurance, your motorhome equipment is things like awnings, gas bottles, security devices, barbecues, furniture, and your personal possessions are things like clothing, toiletries and towels. When getting a quote, make sure it includes equipment cover. Our specialist policy includes £5,000 of motorhome equipment and personal possessions cover as standard. Most motorhome insurance policies are for leisure use only, But if you use your motorhome or campervan to commute to and from one place of work, you can add this cover onto your policy. However, if you travel to more than one place of work, this isn't classed as commuting, it's normally classed as business use. You'd have to check with your insurer to see if you're covered for this. When you're getting quotes for your insurance, there might be mention of new for old or market value cover. New for old cover is where you insure your vehicle for the cost of a brand new equivalent, and then in the event of a claim where it's not repairable, you'd get a brand new replacement. At Caravan Guard, you can have new for old cover if your vehicle's under 2 years old, you've earned it from new, and you've done less than 24,000 miles. Market value is where you insure the vehicle for its current value, and then in the event of a claim where it's not repairable, you'd get a settlement based upon the vehicle's current value. Like many insurers, there will be things that you're not covered for under your policy, along with policy conditions. These will be in your policy wording, so it's important to read through them. Policy conditions are things like security devices, so ensuring that you use the security devices that you've listed on your policy, and also can include the storage location, so making sure the motorhome's at the location that you specified. Remember that motorhome and campervan insurance is very different to car insurance, and if you plan to leave your motorhome somewhere that's not the storage location, you should let your insurer know. And finally, it's your responsibility to make sure that your motorhome or campervan's in a roadworthy condition, so you should keep up with annual servicing and habitation checks. And if you've got a tracking device on your policy that requires subscription, make sure it's up to date and active.
So tell your insurer the right information, make sure it's accurate, and if you're unsure about anything such as the storage location, the vehicle type, value or mileage, call them to discuss it, particularly if you filled in your details online. Check the policy wording to make sure you're happy with the things that are not covered. But what if your circumstances change? What kind of changes do you need to tell your insurer about?
During the course of the policy, things can change. So for example, things like having equipment fitted by a specialist, things like air conditioning units or tracking devices, this can change your sum insured, and it could also give you an insurance discount. It's really important to let your insurer know if you change the storage location or you move home, even if you don't store your motorhome at your home address. There'll generally be an admin fee to make changes to your policy, but it pays to make sure that everything's accurate in the event of a claim. At each renewal, it's a good time to review things like your sum insured and your annual mileage. It's also a good opportunity to check all the information on your policy documents. So if you're insured with Caravan Guard, your circumstances change or you're unsure about anything, give our friendly team a call.
Remember to keep your motorhome insurance policy up to date, and if you change your storage location or your address or have any big ticket items fitted to your motorhome, don't forget to tell your insurer so that your sums insured is accurate. Keeping your policy up to date and making sure the sums insured is correct is really important if you need to make a claim. Let's find out what the most common motorhome insurance claims are.
At Caravan Guard, our most common motorhome claim is windscreen damage. So after that, the next most common claim is accidental damage. So things like reversing mishaps on campsites or your driveway, bumping into road signs, going down narrow lanes or under low bridges. Not all insurers include windscreen cover as standard. Some insurers have it as an optional cover. On A-class motorhomes, windscreen replacements can cost thousands of pounds. On Caravan Guard policy, the windscreen cover is standard, and there's a £100 policy excess for replacements. If you notice a little chip in your windscreen, get it looked at as soon as you can before the damage gets worse, and there's no excess for repairs. At Caravan Guard, we get lots of claims for bumps and scrapes, so it's important to know the dimensions of your motorhome and to be aware of your surroundings. Things like the overhang of your motorhome, or if you're carrying anything like bikes on the back. It's a good idea to get someone to watch your back if you're reversing into tight spaces.
Remember that your motorhome is a lot bigger than your car, so take care when reversing and driving. Fit a reversing camera or parking sensors to reduce the risk of damage. But what happens if you do cause damage and you have to make a claim?
If your motorhome's damaged and you need to make a claim, the most important thing is making sure that you and your passengers are safe. And then take photos of the damage and effect any temporary repairs, again if it's safe to do so. We understand anything happening to your motorhome can be traumatic. When you speak to our specially trained claims handlers, they'll guide you through the process of making a claim and tell you what the next steps are. The claims handler will ask you for things like your policy number, when and where the claim happened and what exactly happened. They may also ask you for photos or an estimate, so it's a good idea, if it's safe, to take some photos of the damage. Our underwriters also have an online claim portal if you'd either prefer to register it online or it's a non-urgent claim. You can get updates on an existing claim or register a new one. Once the claim handler's got all the information, they'll review it against your policy cover to validate the claim and pay out any settlement.
It's a good idea to keep an inventory of all the items that you use in or around your motorhome, so in the event of a total loss claim, you can provide accurate information to your insurance provider. So why not take photos of your equipment and also keep receipts at home? There you go. We hope this has given you some helpful information when insuring your motorhome, what to expect and when to contact your insurance provider for help. For more motorhoming hints and tips, and to find out more about our highly rated specialist motorhome and campervan insurance cover, head on over to the Caravan Guard website. Thanks for watching and take care.